In the high-stakes world of crypto, we're all obsessed with security. It's everything. But what if the biggest threat isn't some bug in the code, but it's actually found in the people who are writing it? Today, we're going to dig into that critical and honestly often overlooked human side of protecting digital assets. I want you to really think about this. You secure your code, right? You audit your smart contracts. You watch the blockchain like a hawk. But what if your biggest vulnerability isn't some external hacker from across the world, but someone who's sitting right there at the table with you? All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll talk about something I call the crypto trust paradox. Then we'll get into some of those critical internal vulnerabilities. We'll look at why just doing a code audit isn't going to cut it. And finally, we'll explore a pretty scientific way to verify the human element and, actually secure your project's integrity from the inside out. So here's the central irony of our entire industry, isn't it? We are all out here building these incredible, decentralized, so-called trustless systems. But at the end of the day, a very, very small group of people, founders, developers, key personnel, they hold the literal keys to the kingdom. And that's the big disconnect. All the focus, all the energy goes to fighting external threats. You know the drill: hackers, exploits, market manipulators. We spend all our time staring at the code, completely forgetting that the greatest risk might just be the person who wrote it. So let's get specific. What do these internal risks actually look like? Well, they can pretty much be broken down into a series of deeply unsettling questions. Questions that every founder, every investor, and every team member really ought to be thinking about. It all starts with the absolute fundamentals, the private keys, and the seed phrases. I mean, that's the soul of the project. A single yes to any one of these questions could mean total, complete financial ruin. It is the ultimate single point of failure. And then we get to the next level of threat: active, malicious intent. We're moving way beyond just carelessness and into outright deception. Faking a hack to cover your own tracks, colluding with attackers, planting a secret backdoor. These are the absolute nightmare scenarios for any project. And finally, you've got the risks that are driven by personal history and motivation. Is a team member secretly a veteran of past rug pulls? Are they under some kind of massive financial pressure that could push them to do something desperate? This is the kind of information that will almost never, ever show up in a technical review. So this all leads to a crucial point. You can have the most flawlessly audited smart contract in the entire world, but it means absolutely nothing if the person with access to it is dishonest. Technical audits are essential, don't get me wrong, but they have a massive blind spot. This slide just lays out the problem perfectly. Over on the left, you see what technical audits cover: the code, the on-chain transactions, system vulnerabilities, all standard stuff. But on the right is everything they miss: hidden intentions, personal debts, a history of fraudulent activity. This right here, this is the human factor gap. So how in the world do you close that gap? How do you look into that blind spot? Well, the answer really lies in shifting your focus. It's not just about verifying the code anymore. It's also about verifying the person. It's about applying a scientific, objective approach to building and, more importantly, confirming trust. The solution is a scientific approach, and it's often a psychophysiological examination. Now, let's be super clear. This isn't some dramatic movie interrogation, not at all. It's a professional process that measures a person's natural physiological responses, things like heart rate and respiration, while they answer a very structured series of questions. By analyzing these responses, you can objectively verify their statements. It's all about getting factual, honest answers to those critical security questions we asked just a minute ago. So what does all this actually achieve? How does it make a project stronger? Well, when you proactively address the human element, the benefits are immediate and they are powerful. You're not just plugging some security hole, you're reinforcing the entire foundation of your project. First and foremost, you can confirm with a very high degree of certainty that no secret, unauthorized copies of the keys to your treasury or cold storage exist anywhere. That alone can prevent a catastrophic loss. You gain assurance that your developers haven't intentionally planted backdoors or vulnerabilities in the code. This ensures the integrity of the technology itself, and it protects it from the very people who built it. Now, this is huge for founders. If there's a suspicious transaction or a wallet movement that spooks the community, this process allows the leadership to definitively prove their honesty and restore that critical trust with investors and users. And in this incredibly competitive space, you can identify team members who might be leaking information or actively working for a competing blockchain or project, which protects your intellectual property and your strategic plans. This quote just says it all. On-chain data tells you the what, but it can never tell you the why or the who with 100% certainty. When you're dealing with suspected insider threats, you have to go beyond the blockchain to find the actual truth. So let's end with this. In an industry where a single breach of trust can erase millions of dollars in an instant, the code is only half the battle. Your most valuable asset isn't your token or your tech. It's the trust of your community. So the real question is, what are you doing to protect it? Thanks for watching.